We are activating your unique self-discovery one show at a time. The Orchard of Wisdom Self-Discovery podcast are at your fingertips, just waiting to inspire and invite you in discovering just how awesome you really are and how to navigate through life in joy, enrichment, personal abundance, in mind, body, spirit, heart, and soul. All the people we bring you are here to serve you on your journey of life. Do enjoy our next show. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Sarah's View of Life, right here on selfdiscoverymedia.com. I'm your host, Sarah Troy. I've just done a wonderful show on a book called The Dancer and the Devil, about Stalin, Lenin, Putin, the viruses out of China. It really is a very impactful book and story. And I commend the people who have written it, and I invite you to listen to that show, The Dancer and the Devil. It brought to mind of the choices that we have as a humanity. We know that people who have been persecuted, like we see in this book, ballerinas from and artists and musicians and everything from Russia, that went into exile and would speak out against Russia and all that it was doing, and then find themselves poisoned to death, made to look like natural sources, which was totally against the state of health that they were in. And it kind of brings to mind this. We do have a choice in life of what we feed. And when we look at our history and we look at what's going on now, and we question how many soulless and heartless people there are that can do such atrocities to humanity, and we wonder why in this day and age they're still in power, or that we don't counteract it. Everything is a choice in life, folks. What we feed is what's going to grow. If we feed the fear turns to hate, it turns to violence, it turns to revenge, it turns to becoming so much less than what you're meant to be. When we choose to feed love or kindness or caring or possibilities, we really do see creativity grow. We see an abundance of inspiration and communication and community. But what I don't understand in this day and age is why we are still so utterly violent and cruel and unnecessary to one another, and why we allow these tyrants to still be in power. It's not just Putin, whose favorite thing is poison and annihilating people. Anybody who crosses him will mysteriously die. He'll take out whole families, as did Lenin and Stalin and various other dictators along the world. You cross them, you pay the price. And the price can be torture, and the price can be the entire family. That's their way out. That is their way of expressing, because they have no other way to express. There is no love or self-value or self-worth inside of them. They're empty people. They're lost children. They've never been taught how to be kind, caring, or loving. And for them, everything is about the power to intimidate, the power to control, the power to dictate. And they feel that is everything, because they know inside of them there is nothing. You cannot physically, emotionally, spiritually do harm to others in such a gruesome way or in any way and call yourself a full-hearted, soul-loving person. It's impossible, because when you are in that higher level of spirit and love, you can't knowingly hurt anyone else, because it hurts you to do so. That doesn't mean we can't stand up against violence and things like this, or if we're being personally attacked. I'm talking physically, because we have been personally attacked emotionally or verbally, we do have different recourses there, which is a higher level, however hard it can be at times. The important thing is that when somebody is so utterly hurt in their lives, they want to hurt others. Now, you would think that because they've known the pain and the anguish, that they wouldn't want to hurt others because they know what it's like. But on the other hand, it's all they know. All they know is pain and anguish, and it's got to be somebody else's fault. This is the way of life, and I want what I want, and I'm going to get it in any which way I can. And we see these tyrants out there. We've seen Putin right now, most prevalent. We're seeing China, and China has a huge history of poison as well, and also of virus labs. And the Wuhan lab was an escapee virus. That was the COVID-19. Perhaps designed for warfare that got out of control or got out of the lab. Many of the other viruses were man-made or man-manipulated. And we have to look at all of this and ask, why? How do you take pleasure in annihilating millions of people, hundreds of thousands of people, or taking whole families because you want to get back at one person, torturing and killing the entire family just to protect your ego? I personally don't understand it, and I don't want to understand it in a way that I go into that dark mind. Is darkness all they know? Is the inner fear all they know? Is that loathing that they have for everyone else really a loathing they have for themselves? Is there any form of redemption inside of them? Could we ignite any form of love inside of them? I don't know. And I think that it's perhaps past expiry date for them to step into love. But we, the people, we don't have to repeat history. We don't have to go down that road. We can stand up for what is wrong. We can stand together for what is right. We can be the difference that we seek in our lives. It is up to us, our own consciousness of what we believe we need to do for the greater good. This book had a huge impact on me, because you look at the atrocities that were done and that are still being done. And in this day and age, with all the knowledge out there, we're still getting a whole load of garbage, propaganda, fake news, manipulation of what they want us to understand from their perspective, the sensationalism, the stirring people up into a hurricane of fear. It's all a manipulation. That manipulation is controlling us because we're letting it. We've been dumbed down. With all that knowledge that we have at our fingertips, on our phones, on our computers, on our tablets, in the libraries, in books, all that knowledge that is there, yet we still wish to play stupid. And stupid in a way that, la, 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 I don't want to know. Or if I don't know, it won't happen to me. Or I can't do anything about it anyway, so why should I bother? When we know the truth, when we know really what has gone on, what is going on, yes, it can be overwhelming, but at the same time, it's a spark of conversation, of enlightening other people, of coming together and going, this is going on, what can we do about it? Putin is extremely dangerous right now. He will go to chemical warfare. He may even press that button. If he's pushed into a corner and he feels there's no way out, he will take people with him. But how do we stop him? We've let bureaucracy get in the way, not diplomacy. You can't be diplomatic with someone like that. They have no diplomacy whatsoever. They have no empathy, no compassion, no love, no conscience. What are you doing trying to even talk to them about it? Unfortunately, the only thing they know the bully in the schoolyard is that you've got to stand up to the bully. And you've got to knock him down. That's what the bully knows. And Putin has to be taken down. And we have to hold China. And once such an advanced country in the arts, in the creations, in the advancement of discovering the world, in medicine, just an unbelievably creative, wondrous country that then went to dictatorship in the form of communism. And now we can't trust what they say or what they do. And it's not the people, folks. Please don't go around bashing Russians and Chinese people. It's got nothing to do with them. It's their leaders, the cowards that hide behind. Those are the people, the evil ones at the top that attract the other evil ones to do their work for them. Those are the people that we need to hold accountable, not the entire race of China and Russia, India, or anywhere else. We don't condemn everybody because of the few. That's how we stir the shite up. And that's how we get into the doo-doo. We need to understand that no matter what our nationality, if we've stepped into that higher consciousness, that is where the true identity is. It's in that higher frequency, that higher consciousness, that higher state of love and kindness, caring and consideration and community and collaboration. When we step into that, we no longer see the vessel that we're in. It's just part of our culture, a part of who we are, but it is not our entire identity. We see the hearts and souls of people. We see the characters of people. We see the essence of people. And you know, you can kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream when the dream has taken momentum. He speaks a great deal about the dancer Anna Pavlova in here and the influence that she had. And she wasn't a strong dancer, but she was a true artiste. She left hearts everywhere, feeling the pumping of life through their veins. Her passion, her conviction, her artistry was absolutely beautiful. And she spoke out against Stalin and Lenin. And it cost her life in the end. But however much they killed her, they couldn't kill the essence of who she was, the Swan Lake. She was the swan. The Mexican dance that she produced there that is still danced today. We're still talking about it now a century later. What does that say? The essence of the person. This is the book, by the way. Highly recommended. The essence of the person will live on in the hearts of others, in the minds of others, in the spirits of others. The essence of that spirit is constantly in our ether. It's there. Do we not want to, as a human race, rise up to that other level? Do we not want to become a part of that society that is soul, heart, and spirit embracing? The haters, the loathers, the self-loathers, the dictators, we can't do anything for them because until they wish to do something for themselves in the form of healing, we can't do anything for them. And in this lifetime, there's only one exit for them. Maybe in the next lifetime, they could come back and learn something. In this lifetime, I'm afraid there isn't. If we don't stand up to the bully, if we don't read books like this, which is filled with information on the labs that have created so many poisons and viruses, on the people that are behind it, on the dangers of speaking out, on what's going on behind our backs and in the deep, dark corners. We can't walk around going, la, 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 I don't want to hear. It doesn't affect me. Everything affects us. Everything affects us. If we look at each one of us as a note, a frequency, When we're in harmony, we resonate a frequency that is so uplifting. When we are not in harmony and we're in anguish, it brings us down into pain. There are so many people in pain and suffering today because in today's day, 2022, there is still repression and dictatorship and killings and murder and torture going on. And I know it's hard to believe, you think it's just the movies, but no, folks, it's still very much going on. And they don't want you to know about it. And anybody getting it out is killed. No, I don't fear for my own safety. I am just a blip here. But I am asking you to read the information. This book is extremely extensive. It talks about the artists, all the people that put their lives on the land, but it talks about everything that's going on in the background. A great deal of research went into this. There's a lot of research that you can go out there. Please don't just blindly buy Fox News, the pimple that makes it into a volcanic eruption. They have been bought. They have been told what to say, the bill of goods and everything else. We have a dictator wannabe, Trump, and Russia would love Trump to come back in again because they can control him. To a point, anybody can control him. They got him in the first time and they're talking about getting him in the second time. We know what damage he did. Just to the, okay, I don't care if other millionaires got rich during his reign, but look what he did for the morals of society. Look what he did for lowering the consciousness. Look what he did against humanity. And ask yourself, do we want that again? You have the Texas abortion wanting to reverse Roe versus Wade. You've got a whole bunch of these people wanting to go backwards in time. Why? Because they had control to suppress you. No rights of freedom, of free will, free voice, free act without persecution. Do you want to go back to that? Do you want to go back to a time the color of your skin dictated what you could do, your sex dictated what you could do with your body? Even nutritionals have come under fire. Do we want to go back to that time where a few bleep, bleep, dot, dash, dat, dats dictate your very choices in life? I don't. And I don't think you do either. We want free will. We want the right to make the choices, even if they are the wrong ones. We will have to be accountable for whatever those wrong choices are. We will have to stand up and speak to those choices. But if they're taken away from us, what freedom do we have? Instead of moving forward, propelling into a higher frequency, a higher vibration that is more harmonious, more creative, more unison, and what the world and what humanity desperately needs, what this planet desperately needs, it will take us back into the dark ages, which is then a point of no return for humanity, because they will destroy this planet. There will be no resources left. And as human beings, we love to turn in on each other, and we will devour each other. We are absolutely awesome human beings when we step into our awesomeness, when we step up for other people, when we stand up in our own light and be that beacon of light for others. But we can be the scourge and the scum of the earth. It all comes down to our choice. Do we want to feed that? I've interviewed people, the way they've been treated throughout their lives as children, rape, abuse, guns put in their faces, families turning against them. I mean, there's some horrific things, raping as children by grandfathers or fathers, mothers watching on. And yet they've turned out to be beautiful human beings because they decided that that wasn't going to be their story. There isn't anybody that goes through life without some sort of pain or suffering. That is part of our journey of life. Discover our courage, our strength, our abilities, our self-love and love of life, and what our contribution is. When we take that journey, we step into that, life is absolutely beautiful. But when we take the other way, life owes me, I'm the victim, I want revenge, it's everybody else's fault, then we're going down that very dark, slippery hole. And sometimes a very hard return from that, if there is one at all. So, what world do you want to live in? I know I want to live in a world of light and beauty and love. I know I want to live in a world where we're out there for each other, not against each other. It's in the best interests of China and Russia and various parts of America to have you turn against each other. You see, when you're against each other and you're busy fighting each other, you're not fighting the real enemies. And sometimes that real enemy is the one that's inside. Find your strength, find your courage, step into your own light, be that beacon of light for someone else. Know what it's like to be on the sunny side of the street. Because if we don't face that darkness and all that goes on in those dark corners, if we don't put a stop to it, we don't shed light on it and bring it to the forefront and change the accountability, we have a slippery slope in front of us. I don't want to be a part of that slippery slope. I want to be a part of the evolution of humanity into a higher consciousness. What do you want? Because remember, your actions, your thoughts, your participation is your contribution. Is it serving humanity? Or is it serving some vengeance that you have inside of you? Some lack that is inside of you that you're unwilling to heal? Are you serving the sheepilism, barring your way to hatred and discord, the blame? Or are you looking at life and go, it doesn't matter what's happened to me, it's happened for me to discover who I really am, what I want to be, and how I want to represent myself in life. Are you going to step up to that? I hope so. Because we don't need any more devils. There's plenty of them out there. And we don't need them anymore. So let us be the light, the illuminating, God-loving, God spirit energy light that burns a hole in that darkness and obliterates it all together. Because we can only do that when we come together. And do invite you to listen to the show, The Dancer and the Devil. All you have to do is put that in the search engine at selfdiscoverymedia.com. I do invite you to do your own research and don't just buy the CNN or the Fox News rhetoric, or even what's on the dark web or the regular web. Ask questions, investigate, take the time, please, I beg of you. I know you've become a society that doesn't read and you want everything instant knowledge. Well, if you can't read, listen. There's plenty of podcasts out there that talk about this. Get educated. Make some decisions. You can't abstain from participating in your life, because if you do that, somebody else will come along, attach the strings to you and pull them for you. Please, let your inquiring mind wander. Know what's going on so we know how to bring it to a stop and be there to support one another instead. Because as I've said, that's the only world I want to be a part of, and the only world that Self-Discovery Media and the Orchard of Wisdom podcasts are here for. Those that wish to be the light and help others see the light in their own darkness. Until next week, folks, bye for now. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Find all of our shows on selfdiscoverymedia.com under podcasts or selfdiscoverymedia/shows. And for all our current shows, go to What's New. We are supported by you, the audience. You'll see a nice big shiny blue button for one-time donations or follow us on Patreon, and you will be able to support us there. We enjoy bringing you such wisdom. And the next show will be up in just a moment.